Kobe Bryant has almost too many memorable games to count. Over 140-point games and over 20 50-point games. Countless game winners, dunks, fadeaway threes, fall-away buzzer beaters. If you watched basketball in the 2000s, there's a good chance that Kobe dropped 50 on your favorite team and dunked on your favorite player. But some games stand above the rest. Moments in time so memorable that I had to make a list commemorated to it. Here are the top 10 Kobe Bryant games of all time.
Walk it like I talk it. Walk it like I talk it. Walk it like I talk it. Woo. Walk it like I talk it. Hey. Walk it like I talk it. 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 Woo.
Number 10. The number 10 entry in our list holds a special place in many Kobe Bryant fans' hearts. I like to call it the day the Mamba was born. 2004 was not a very good year for Kobe. Facing sexual assault charges and having a new cast of characters, including Karl Malone and Gary Payton, has Kobe feeling out of it as they go to play Orlando in Staples Center. In the first half, Tracy gives Kobe buckets, 21 to be exact, while Kobe struggles mightily, putting up only 1 point on 4 shot attempts. Kobe heads to the locker room feeling dejected. Kobe recalls this being one of the only times where he stepped on the court but didn't feel like playing. But then, as he recalls in an interview years later, he thought, "I remember sitting in the locker room at halftime and saying to myself, you know what? You may lose everything in life because of the situation you put yourself in. You may lose your family, your freedom, but I'll be damned if you lose basketball." The second half, a completely different story. Kobe puts up 37, including 22 in the fourth, leading to the Lakers' 113-110 victory over the Magic. Number 9. The next entry in this list comes in the 2013 season, easily the most bizarre of Kobe's career. Despite having Dwight Howard and Steve Nash join him and Powell in LA, the Lakers struggle mightily throughout the entire season. When the Raptors came to town March 2nd, it was no different. The Lakers were 31-31 and looking at the prospect of missing the playoffs. Kobe played heavy minutes this game and played a lot of point guard because of Steve Nash's continued physical deterioration. He finishes the game with 41 points and 12 assists. He saves his best stuff for the fourth quarter, though, when he launches 3 threes in a row, making them consecutively in what amounts to basically 3 game winners. If he misses, they lose. This sequence is as clutch as Kobe has ever been in the regular season, and perhaps anyone has ever been in the regular season. And in overtime, he caps it off with a dunk to go up by 2 with 10 seconds left and seal the victory. Number 8. The next entry on this list comes again in the 2013 season, and again in a similar situation. The Lakers are 41-37, only 1 game up on the Utah Jazz for the 8th playoff spot. Kobe is in the midst of playing the heaviest minutes he's ever played in his entire career in order to try to lift the Lakers into this last playoff spot. This game's no exception. He plays every minute of the game. He finishes the game with 47 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals, and 4 blocks, with a 67% true shooting percentage. But this game doesn't make the list because of Kobe's offensive heroics. It's his defensive work that gets it here. He splits time covering Will Barton and Eric Mayer, who combined to go just 7 of 20 and only take 3 foul shots the entire game. He also has this unbelievable stuff on Will Barton, one of the best blocks of his career. He ends up with the lowest defensive rating for either team at 34 years old, despite playing all the minutes. Number 7. The number 7 entry on this list comes in the 2001 playoffs, Western semis against the Sacramento Kings. In 2001, the Lakers were arguably the greatest playoff team of all time, and never was this more apparent than in the West semis versus the hot Sacramento Kings, who had the best home record in the NBA. Despite this, Lakers handle business in the first 3 games, and going into Game 4, Kobe had something special planned. He puts up 48 points and goes 19 of 19 at the line. But the best part here is an underrated part of Kobe's game, his offensive rebounding. 9 offensive rebounds against the 3rd best rebounding team in the league. This triples up Shaq's total. and leads to a convincing Game 4 victory. The dominance continues in the next series, where they sweep the Spurs in 4, in part to a 49-10 game by Kobe, and then take Philly 4-1 to become back-to-back champions on their way to a three-peat. Now we really move into the good stuff, the creme de la creme, if you will. Games that even the most hardened Kobe hater has to marvel at. Kobe has said many times he likes to play on the road, even more than playing at the Staples Center. He loves to hit the clutch shot that quiets the crowd, and MSG is at the very top of these opposing arenas he loves to play at. Coming into this 2009 February matchup versus the Knicks, Kobe's career high at MSG was 53, the second most for an opposing player there. Never one to be outdone, he was firing on all cylinders this night. In just 36 minutes, he went 19 of 31 from the field, 3 of 6 from behind the arc, and 20 of 20 from the line. And in typical Kobe fashion, he was outright dominant from every single range. Whatever he wanted, he got, and he did it by himself, with only 2 of these 19 field goals coming from an assisted play. This pump fake to pirouette bank shot was the last field goal he made, and look at Spike Lee's reaction. Nothing but giddy excitement, even though his Knicks were getting torched by Kobe. Spike would later go on to say this encouraged him to make the documentary with Kobe doing work. Now just watch as Kobe fakes surprise as he's told he now owns the MSG record.
You know, hold the scoring record in this building. How does it make you feel?
Oh, I didn't know that. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, like he didn't know he was setting the record that night. Now cracking the top 5, we have a game from 2005. The 2005 season was not one of the best for the Lakers. Lamar Odom, Smush Parker, Chris Mim, Brian Cook, Devin George, Luke Walton, Kwame Brown, a very young Andrew Bynum, and Sasha Vujacic were some of the supporting cast for the budding megastar Kobe. So Kobe putting the team on his back was a common thematic element throughout the season. But this night, it was something different. 62 points in 3 quarters, single-handedly outscoring the Mavs. Having your third highest single game output be higher than the career highs of Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, James Harden, Russell Westbrook, and Damian Lillard is one thing. Having it come in just 32 minutes over 3 quarters is almost unfathomable.
I don't believe it! Incredible!
An interesting wrinkle to this game, too, is Phil Jackson asked Kobe if he'd like to go in for the fourth quarter so he'd go for 70. He said no. Luke Walton then recalls getting mad at Kobe, saying, "You could do something really special right now. What's wrong with you?" And Kobe says, "I don't need to. I'll get 70 another time." And a month later, he followed through on his promise, but that's for later on in this list. A common criticism of Kobe over his career is that he's been inefficient, and especially inefficient in the NBA Finals. And while I agree with this for the most part, 2009 was definitely an exception. Going up against the Orlando Magic, Kobe had one of his best series of all time. 32 points a game, 5.5 rebounds, 7.5 assists, 1.5 steals, and 1.5 blocks. He would go on to win his first Finals MVP this series, and the best game he had in the series, Game 1, 40 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks. This would end up being Kobe's Finals career high and route to a 75-100 blowout in the Staples Center. Not only was he efficient and on the right side of a blowout, some of the shot contests by Petrus and other Magic defenders have you wondering just how he could put so many balls into the basket. Just listen to Mark Jackson talk about the defense on Kobe.
And all of a sudden, put his foot on the gas pedal, taking advantage of the smaller Magic defenders. You talk about degree of difficulty. Well defended, contesting. This is good defense by Peter. You have done your job. Good defense, just better offense. That's why he's the best in the world. Once again, the contest, when he gets it going, he talked about it. I don't even see the defender in the picture.
The Magic would only last 5 games as Kobe captures his 4th title and cements himself as one of the all-time greats, but more importantly, gets as many as Shaq.
He's got one more than Shaq. So you can take that to the bank.
Number 3. 2006 can be considered Kobe's peak by many. His bag of tricks was highly developed, and he was in his physical prime still. Cut to March 16th, 2007, and Kobe was as hot can be. 65 points in 4 quarters in OT, including 33 points in the fourth in OT. But what really sets this game apart for me is the degree of difficulty on some of these shots is just off the chart. How about this triple pump fake, swish? How about this one-legged bank shot with the foul? Count it. Want another and one-foot runner? Here you go. Brandon Roy fouls him on the floor. Doesn't matter. Here's a half-court heave. His defense was on too, holding Brandon Roy to a paltry 6 of 21 from the field. And the best part is, so clutch. Down in the fourth quarter, doesn't matter. 3 after 3 after 3, including this game-tying fall away. And then in OT, he has this shot, which I can only describe as, well, I'll let Bill McDonald do the call for me.
Here's the double. Kobe, hard to believe.
Are you kidding me?
Unreal!
Are you kidding me?
How strong was that? A triple on a fall away in the corner with a shot knocked down. Lakers by 3.
You have got to be joking.
Not only was he hot this game, but he stayed hot, scoring over 50 points in the next 3 games and becoming just the second player ever to have 4 consecutive 50-point games, including a 60-point stunner in Memphis. Number 2. Kobe's final 3 seasons were extremely painful to watch, especially when you're a die-hard Kobe fan like myself. He just wasn't the same man, and after every significant injury, his play on the court got worse and worse, amounting to his last season, where he statistically was the worst offensive player in the league. But I, like many others, kept watching, hoping there was one last Kobe Bryant signature performance left in him, one of those games that could remind you of what he used to be. And in his last chance, he made it happen. The now infamous 60-point finale. He started out 0 of 5 from the floor, and I thought, man, this is it. Kobe's going to have a stinker for his last game. And then when it looked like all hope was lost, he started hitting shots. And as the game wore on, he got better and better. And then in the fourth quarter, he hit 5 consecutive shots, including the game winner. That last signature performance every Kobe fan was hoping for. Many people will point to the ridiculous 50 attempts he took that game. But that was Kobe, wasn't it? Isn't it fitting that he sets the record for most field goal attempts in a game in his last game ever? And frankly, I don't care what you or anyone else thinks. 60 points is 60 points, no matter how many attempts it takes. And that last game was everything I could have hoped for and more. You knew it was coming, didn't you? The second highest scoring output in NBA history. 81 points at the Staples Center. There's not much I can say about this game that hasn't already been said, so I'll let the tape do the talking for me. Here's 81 points by Kobe Bryant.
Teammates, Kobe. Nobody helping right now defensively, so he'll take the 15 from him. Kobe's got 57. Laker lead is 95-88. On Friday, filling in tonight. Stu alongside. Oh, Kobe counted foul.
It makes his first basket of the night.
Kobe goes straight to the dribble in the lane, laid up and in. Kobe Bryant, and the beat goes on. Kobe with it now. Lakers lead 105-96. Another 3.
Well, there goes Wilt.
67 points, Kobe Bryant. 3 again. Yes!
Well, there's 70.
MVP. Kobe down the middle, throw it up and in.
Nothing that needs to be said about this game.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have witnessed the second greatest scoring performance in NBA history. It would be 18 for 20 from the line and an 81-point game.